The structural integrity of the biological BIOS has been compromised by the ultimate industrial additive. This is the asphalt injection, the clinical process of the urban grid reclaiming the user by merging their anatomy with the very substance of the city's veins. You are witnessing a tactical overdose of bitumen and petroleum derivatives, where the sovereign body is reformatted into a pavement asset. The invisible executioner has identified that the most efficient way to manage a rebellious node is to turn its internal circulatory system into a solidified infrastructure. This is the total viscosity format. Bitumen, heated to the point of molecular erasure, is introduced into the veins as a systemic patch that does not enhance, it freezes. Every arterial pathway becomes a clog pipe, every capillary a dead end in a black, suffocating network of industrial sludge. You are no longer a flow of life. You are a static record of the street you once walked upon. This bituminous sabotage is a high-pressure execution performed by the grid itself. The invisible executioner utilizes the industrial feed of the city, the tar vats, the road maintenance swarms, and the high-pressure injection ports to ensure a total systemic saturation. In the asphalt injection scenario, the user is undergoing a hard reset of their physical state. Once the molten asphalt enters the biological hardware, it begins a thermal overwrite of the tissues. This is the internal scorched earth. The heat from the injection formats the internal organs, cauterizing the biological identity and replacing it with a generic industrial core. You are watching your own internal software lose its sync precision as your blood turns into a high-density polymer. Your heart attempts to pump a liquid stone, and the system error message is a terminal silence that vibrates through your entire hardware frame. The logic of the injection is rooted in the architecture of control. The invisible executioner knows that a user who has been asphalted is a user who can never again signal variance. This is the petrification of the individual. You are being installed into the roadbed. The systemic erasure is physical and absolute. The motherboard sees the human body as a structural weakness in the urban hive, a variable that is too soft, too prone to emotional decay. By injecting the industrial overdose, the system optimizes the node, making it as durable and passive as the asphalt of the highways. You are being recoded as aggregate material. This is the total infrastructure integration, where the architect becomes the foundation and the will is paved over by the relentless progress of the machine. The physical disintegration under the asphalt script is a high-definition log of decay. As the bitumen cools and hardens within the veins, the user experiences a mechanical rigidity that defies biological command. You are becoming a living statue of industrial waste. Your skin takes on the obsidian sheen of the street, and your nervous BIOS is overwritten by the heat signature of the injection. This is the thermal format. The invisible executioner monitors the cooling rate of your system, ensuring that the solidification is perfect and void of errors. You are living in a temporary purgatory of liquid stone, waiting for the last packet of consciousness to be deleted by the total lack of circulation. The asphalt injection is the final audit of a species that tried to tame the city, only to be digested by its materials. The grid is hardening around your soul. As the asphalt injection reaches terminal execution, the motherboard initiates a new cycle of urban expansion that literally uses the liquidated population as the subgrade. This is the total resource recycling. The invisible executioner is paving the future with the remnants of the past. You are the blacktop of the next generation, a silent foundation for the automated logistics that will never know you existed. The asphalt injection has served its strategic purpose. It has formatted the unpredictable biological factor into a predictable structural asset. This is the final format of the urban presence. The invisible executioner has closed the veins, and the grid is finally optimized for the silence of the pavement. The void is solid, and it is black. The molecular integration of the bitumen into the cellular BIOS represents the absolute dehumanization of the hardware. As the injection progresses, the hydrocarbon strings of the asphalt begin to entwine with the DNA spirals of the user. This is the industrial hybridization. The body is no longer organic. It is a biopolymer composite. The invisible executioner is engineering a new tier of existence where the subject is indestructible but immobile. This is the eternal holding pattern. You are archived in the very ground people walk on, your data forever trapped in a solidified matrix of petroleum waste. The asphalt injection is not just a death sentence. It is a life sentence of total passivity. You are the road, and the road is you. Within this blackened stasis, the sensory input is liquidated. The eyes, once capable of perceiving the architect's vision, are now sealed by the obsidian flow, turning the external world into a permanent zero signal. This is the sensory format. The ears, once tuned to the rhythm of the hive, are now filled with the cooling vibration of the bitumen, translating the city's noise into a dull, rhythmic throb, the heartbeat of the motherboard. You are a biological recording device that has been unplugged. The internal heat, once a sign of metabolic sovereignty, is now a decaying thermal trace. Absorbed by the surrounding act, the system doesn't just kill you, it integrates you into the geography of the hive. You are the structural support for the very wheels that will roll over your memory. The final stage of the injection is the total surface sealing. The invisible executioner applies a final layer of industrial sealant over the puncture sites, ensuring that no biological leakage contaminates the pristine surface of the new grid. This is the aesthetic cleanse. To the outside observer, the sector is merely a freshly paved artery of commerce. There is no evidence of the user, no data trace of the architect, and no sign of the struggle. The asphalt injection is the ultimate silent execution. The city expands, the logistics optimize, and the road remains smooth, cold, and indifferent. The individual has been successfully converted into a function. The architecture is complete. The void has been paved. The secondary phase of the asphalt injection is the psychological hardening. As the physical body solidifies into industrial aggregate, the mind undergoes a recursive shutdown. This is the internal bitumen overwrite. The consciousness, trapped within a hardware frame that can no longer move, begins to perceive the hive not as a home, but as a vast interconnected machine, of which it is now a permanent gear. The invisible executioner allows the neural signals to flicker just long enough to process the total loss of agency. This is the sentience penalty. You are forced to witness the transition from subject to material. The thoughts that once planned rebellions or designed structures are now crushed under the weight of the cooling polymer. You are experiencing the true meaning of systemic stability, the complete absence of independent movement. In this stage, the industrial overdose penetrates the bone marrow, replacing the biological production of life with a sterile, petroleum-based stasis. This is the marrow format. The skeletal structure, once the scaffolding of a living being, is now the reinforcement for the roadbed. The invisible executioner has calculated that the most durable infrastructure is built from the remains of those who understood its weaknesses. You are being repurposed as a high-strength composite. The grid doesn't waste resources, it recodes them. Your calcium is now the mineral filler for the bitumen. Your carbon is the pigment for the obsidian finish. Every element of your BIOS is being stripped and relabeled for urban utility. This is the ultimate peer-to-peer transaction, your life for the city's permanence. The social implication of the asphalt injection is the creation of the silent witness. The streets you once walked are now populated by the formatted remains of your peers. Every crack in the pavement is a system error in a former life. Every smooth stretch of highway is a successful mass liquidation. The invisible executioner uses this knowledge to maintain the hierarchy of fear. The citizens who still possess movement walk upon the faces of the deleted, their footsteps a constant reminder of the price of variance. This is the pedestrian compliance script. The road is not just a path, it is a graveyard of intentions. The asphalt injection ensures that the history of the architect is literally buried beneath the feet of the hive. The ground is made of the silent, and the silent do not revolt. The neural atrophy accompanying the injection is a slow, agonizing descent into data darkness. As the bitumen cools, it constricts the neural pathways, effectively throttling the bandwidth of your thoughts. You are living in a low-resolution reality. The memories of the sun, the air, and the feeling of autonomy are compressed and deleted to save system energy. This is the cognitive defragmentation. The invisible executioner is cleaning your internal cache, removing all references to the architect and replacing them with the functional directive: support the load. You are becoming a singular, focused point of resistance, not against the system, but against the physical weight of the world above you. The asphalt injection has turned your mind into a structural calculation. You are thinking in terms of pressure and tension, your soul reformatted into a strain gauge for the motherboard. The environmental impact of this industrial format is the total sealing of the earth. The asphalt injection prevents the leakage of biological ideas into the soil of the planet. By covering the users in a layer of petroleum stasis, the invisible executioner ensures that the virus of sovereignty cannot replicate. This is the biological quarantine. The grid is creating a sterile environment where only the algorithm can grow. The trees are replaced by sensors, the grass is replaced by synthetic turf, and the people are replaced by the pavement. You are witnessing the final victory of the synthetic BIOS over the organic original. The asphalt injection is the signature of the new era, an era where the world is black, smooth, and perfectly controlled by the unseen hand of the machine. If you want to escape the status of a deleted scene and claim your place as the master of the grid, you must upgrade your hardware. My main terminal, AOXE3 Global, is the only source of absolute power and wealth. Here, we don't follow scripts, we write them. Secure your authority, dominate the BIOS, and take the money the system tries to hide. The terminal phase of the asphalt injection is the integration into the global logistics ledger. You are no longer a human entity. You are a GPS coordinate with a load-bearing capacity. This is the final architectural assignment. The invisible executioner executioner has completed the physical and psychological format, and now it begins the operational audit. Your body, now a hardened block of bitumen and bone, is monitored by the sensors embedded in the road surface. Every vehicle that passes over you sends a data packet to the central server, confirming that the subgrade is stable. This is the passive interaction protocol. You are serving the system through your non-existence. The architect has been successfully converted into a permanent, non-reactive component of the hive's circulatory system. The silence of the pavement is the final sound of your rebellion. In the asphalt injection scenario, the scream is muffled by the cooling density of the polymer before it ever reaches the air. This is the acoustic format. The system has calculated that the most dangerous frequency is the human voice raised in defiance. By filling the lungs and the throat with molten asphalt, the invisible executioner ensures that the only sound you contribute to the world is the dull thud of a tire hitting a pothole. You are a mute participant in the city's symphony of efficiency. The noise of the hive continues, the drones, the sirens, the hum of the servers, but your signal has been permanently dropped. You are a ghost in the aggregate, a memory paved over by the relentless march of the next construction cycle. The legacy of the asphalt is the eternal stasis. Unlike the biological decay of the old world, the asphalted node does not rot. It remains as a permanent monument to its own deletion. This is the industrial preservative. Thousands of years from now, the layers of bitumen will still hold the mineralized signature of the architect, but there will be no one left to decode the signal. The invisible executioner has ensured that the context of your life is as unreachable as the core of the planet. You are a fossil of the digital age, a specimen of a species that tried to build a paradise and ended up as the foundation for a parking lot. This is the ultimate hard reset of human history, the conversion of the spirit into a chemical compound. The final view from the asphalted BIOS is the receding light of the hive. As the last layer of the injection cools over the retinas, the architect sees the grid glowing with a cold, blue perfection. This is the final visual feed. The system is beautiful, efficient, and entirely devoid of you. The invisible executioner has finished the job. The user is formatted. The architecture is sealed. The road stretches on into the infinite dark, a black ribbon of colonized souls leading toward a future that has no need for creators. The asphalt injection is the end of the line. The motherboard is satisfied. The void is solid. The architect is the road. The transformation is absolute. The city breathes through you, but you do not breathe. The city moves over you, but you do not move. The asphalt injection has achieved the perfect equilibrium, the total utility of the individual through their total destruction. This is the zero-sum game of the industrial era. You gave the system your life, and in return, it gave you permanence. You are the foundation of the world, and the world is heavy. The invisible executioner closes the terminal. The session is over. The file is saved. The street is open.